What's up, everybody, and welcome back to After the Snap. I'm your host, Tasha Pierce, and today we are going to be discussing the third installment of the Blumhouse Prime Video Spooky Season collaboration. It's called Madres. So if you'd like to know what I thought about the straight-to-Amazon movie Madres, then let's go. Madres is a Mexican-American horror film, and it is written by Mario Missione and Marcela Ochoa. It is directed by Ryan Zaragoza, who you may know from work that he did on the TV series All American. This movie is starring Elpidia Carrillo, Carrie Cahill, Ariana Guerra, Jennifer Patino, Britton Webb, Evelyn Gonzalez, and Tenoch Huerta. And Tenoch Huerta and Ariana Guerra are our two main characters in this movie. The release date was October 8th of 2021, and the runtime is 1 hour, 23 minutes. And then here's our synopsis. Beto, a farm manager, and is played by Tenoch Huerta, and Diana, an investigative journalist, is played by Ariana Guerra, a young Mexican-American couple who are expecting their first child. They moved to a small town in 1970s California, where Beto has been offered a job managing a farm. Isolated from the community and plagued by confusing nightmares, Diana explores the rundown company ranch where they reside, finding a grisly talisman in a box containing the belongings of the previous residents. Her discoveries will lead her to a truth much stranger and more terrifying than she could have possibly imagined. Now, first and foremost, Madres has elements taken straight out of the real world, which makes it worth the watch. So, listen to what I'm saying, but it is worth the watch. Tonally, this film is different than the first two Blumhouse movies that we talked about for the spooky season. The pace is much slower. The introduction to the supernatural comes a little later, and there are scenes that in no way move the plot. Now, these differences are to the detriment of Madres, but to its credit, though, the big bad in this movie is more frightening because it was the boogeyman of many real-life women. Now, I wanted to really love this movie, but I walked away feeling like it was just okay. The writers build you up for a tale about Mexican urban legends. By the way, that would have been fine. It would have been cool. It'd be interesting to learn about the boogeyman from other cultures. But that's not at all what the real monster turns out to be. And because they chose to go the route of pretending to be a ghost story, a real opportunity to tell a bigger story was lost. Now, as a person who is ignorant to the actual culture, I thought the director and the actors did an awesome job transporting us to a mostly Mexican farm community. We witnessed a sense of family that is extended to everyone in the community. And I watched and I felt it was much like the neighborhoods that I saw when I visited the South, specifically Mississippi. I walked the streets of Vicksburg, Mississippi, and it was like everyone was family. And I mean, a lot of them were. But again, the bottom line is just for being a young Black girl in this community, I was embraced as family to a lot of people who only knew, you look like Beck's daughter. You Beck's daughter? That kind of thing. So when an area has that shared culture, everyone who walks in their presence becomes part of the family, and I saw that here. So that translated well for me as far as seeing a close culture, because trust me, I know that the Mexican culture is a proud one, and they are a very family-oriented group of people. The main story here follows Diana's search for the cause of what has been deemed a curse that affects the women of the town. And I almost felt dragged along by Diana as I was more interested in what was going on in other parts of the town. But yeah, we got to investigate. We're investigative journalists. It was a shame that by the end, I still felt like our investigation with her was a waste of time, or at least a very weak part of this plot. I won't tell too much more because I do want you to watch Madres. And if you decide to watch Madres, you will learn what was truly going on and maybe understand why I'm giving this movie that I haven't had an awful lot of overwhelmingly strong feelings for. I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. Simply because the real life horrors that this story is trying to tell are truly, truly heartbreaking. And it was a situation that happened in the past, and we saw it rather recently as well. So please give it a watch just to find out what the twist is, just to find out who the big bad is, and how heartbreaking that situation has to be for so many women who have gone through it. Per usual, I'm going to tell you what Rotten Tomatoes thought about this movie as well. As far as they go, the critics thought it was fresh and gave it a 64%, while the audience was not quite as kind with a 30%. And I am leaning somewhere in the middle. I think maybe I'm more with the critics than with the audience on this one. But I still think the critics were just a little high, unless, of course, they are also factoring in the larger story that could have been told. Oh, the possibilities were there, and we just went another route with the writing and the directing. Of course, it was a beautifully shot movie, but missed some opportunities for me. And that is what I think of the Blumhouse Amazon collaboration, Madres. It is the third of 4 Welcome to the Blumhouse movies that were featured during spooky season on Amazon Prime. And before we go here, you know I got to throw some funky music on for my patrons, so let's go. I want to always give a shout out to my patrons. Thank you so very much for the support that you continue to give me. And I hope that more people find the same value in my content that you do. If you would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/Tasha Pierce, select the tier, any tier, and I will be eternally grateful for your support. Before we get out of here, do me a favor. Make sure to leave your thoughts on this video in the comments below. Also, subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. I continuously put out content. Plus, we do at least 2 live streams per week, all of which is for your enjoyment. As long as you subscribe and turn your notifications on so you will know when these events are happening. I appreciate you for hanging out with me so much, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Peace.